Hi everyone, this is Spencer from ZipWhip here. Just going to kind of take you through a quick webinar. What I'll do first is just essentially describe ZipWhip, what it is, how it works. Then I'll jump into my account so we can take a look at the interface and detail some of the more specific features. So first off, what ZipWhip's doing is enabling landline and business phone numbers to send and receive text messages. We are just a web-based application which you can access on any computer, smartphone, or tablet. So we've been working with a lot of music schools, activating, usually the main school number, allowing them to go back and forth with students using the same number that these students can call if they do need to place a phone call and get that personal attention. So I've got a screen share up here, just on our website. What I'd first like to touch on is, although we are web-based, we do have some applications that you can download. We have a mobile app which allows you to use your mobile device to receive push notifications for inbound messages and respond to those notifications. Although you're using the cell phone as a device, it's still going to look like it's coming from the school number or the landline number that we activate. So the mobile app is not necessary, but something I'd highly recommend. Gives you the ability to respond from the convenience of your cell phone while also protecting that privacy of that cell phone number. We also have a desktop application, which I'd highly recommend. The desktop app allows you to log in. It keeps you logged in around the clock and simply provides you with notifications on your desktop when you're sent inbound messages from students. Those notifications appear in the top right corner with an orange bubble. Is how they're going to come through. So desktop app and mobile app, two things I'd highly recommend, make it easy to go back and forth. So now what I'm going to do is go ahead and log in to my own account here at the office. We'll give you an idea of exactly what the interface looks like here. Username is always going to be the phone number that we activate, and your password you are able to set. Let me just 1 second.
While you're logging in there, I'm going to tell them a little bit about how we're using it at the schools, just briefly, if I can get like 3 minutes. So guys, the main reason we went with ZipWhip was really a couple things. One, to stress what he's saying, that you get to keep your existing landlines. A lot of your customers have already got your phone programmed in their cell phones from over the years. So if you throw a new number on them with a cheaper texting service, it's not going to route to the existing ones. That's one of the big things we wanted for both schools. The second thing is we wanted, we were all Mac based at my place. Of course, ZipWhip is PC friendly, but it's also Macintosh friendly. For us, that was huge for our OS because that's all what we use with everything. The other things we really enjoy about ZipWhip, you can kind of see now on his screen, is it's very clean layout. You have copies of these threads, so it helps to avoid he said and she said with customers. And the main things we're using it for at Columbia Arts are following up with people after lessons, reminding people about group makeups, reminding people about holidays, reminding teachers. You can do group text, you can do just one text at a time. So a lot of different stuff we're doing and continuing to add new stuff to it. We're also now advertising this in our summer marketing. So this is a great thing to try out, especially with summer coming up, to say, hey, don't just call us, also text us, and see how that goes, for your business. So guys, I just want to throw that in there real quick while you were logging in so they can kind of get kind of a scope. And if it's cool with you, what we'll do after you do your demos, we'll do some Q&A. I'm sure they'll have some questions at the end.
Cool. Sounds great. So as Marty said here, now that you see on my screen is really the interface that ZipWhip works with. We try to make it as intuitive and easy to use as possible, so it is set up a lot like the native messaging apps on our cell phones. We've got all our conversations on the left-hand side here. Most recent is always at the top. I've clicked into one of the conversations so you can see the entire back and forth, with the blue and gray bubbles, which we're all used to as well. And on the right-hand side, we have some contact details. Now, this individual, I just have their first and last name. But if I click into the details, you see here, we've got all kinds of other things we could add, such as email, address, any notes that you'd like as well. All ZipWhip really requires is a 10-digit phone number, and it's always nice to have that name attached as well. So Dwight's already saved as a contact here. You have the ability to manually import these contacts by simply just typing in the phone number and the name, or you can mass import contacts as well. That's the first thing I wanted to touch on. You click on the contacts tab over here, second one down on the left-hand side. You can see I have, I believe, a couple thousand contacts in my account currently, but if I wanted to add more, I just go up here and I can hit this import contacts button. When I do that, essentially how we do this is via a CSV template. It just has a few different headers, first name, last name, phone number, amongst other things. You copy and paste in the contact information for the students into that CSV, and then you just drag and drop it into ZipWhip, and you can get as many contacts in ZipWhip as you want at one time. There is no limit to how many conversations you can have. There is no limit to how many contacts you can have.
And I got a question for you. You guys also do groups, right? So if you close that screen, so conceivably, so some of the people on the call today have music, but they also have dance, they have drama. So I would imagine for them, they could import their list of dance clients as one group for texting. They can import their group of music students for one group for texting and have different messages. Is that correct?
That is correct, yes. So you can mass import directly into groups. If I click into one of mine, because I do have a large number, you name the group whatever you want. So if you do want to separate, dance from music there, name that group appropriately. You can add up to 50 contacts into one group. So you may have to make multiple groups for a particular class, but 50 contacts, you can add or remove these individuals at any point in time. And essentially once you save that group, you're going to be able to, type in the group name, bring that group up. You can choose a template that you have created and quickly send them a message. So the group texting is nice because when these messages are sent, I always compare it to a blind carbon copy with an email. Everyone's getting the same message, but they're not going to be able to see that anyone else received that message. So, you can cast a wide net with it. And a few of the things that I've seen be helpful with the group texting are a few of our newer features that we've added. One of those is the ability to create and save templates. So if you have a message you're consistently sending to, let's say, new students that enroll in your dance program, you can create a template for that. And instead of having to, type that message out every single time, when you are creating a new message at the bottom here, you're going to have a clipboard icon. You click on that and you're able to just simply select that template and quickly get that message out there. So that's one feature that's, helps save time and help get these messages out. Another feature that's really helped with group texting is dynamic fields. So although no one's going to be able to see, that anyone else received the message, it is nice to put a personal touch in there. So if you have something as simple as the first name of all these contacts, you can put in that dynamic field, and something that small just at the beginning will add a little personal touch, have their name there, so it does look like an individual message to them, when in reality that dynamic field is just filling for all 50 contacts with their first name. So that is group texting. Is very simple, but it can be very effective. And really, the group text, when they're responded to, are just come in with the individual cell phone name and number of that person who responds. So if you send a group message out to 30 students for a dance class, one of them hits you back with a question, you're going to be in a one-on-one dialogue at that point when they respond to you. You'll also be able to see the initial group text, so that will be, in the conversation, you'll be able to locate exactly, what message this person is responding to. So create as many groups as you'd like, save those groups. They'll always be there for you to edit, delete, add more groups in the future if you need to. Besides group messaging, we do have some other variations of texting here. One of those is scheduled text messages. So I click on the clock icon in the third to the left here. You have the ability to schedule messages for future dates and times. I'll go ahead and create a new one right now. You can schedule these messages to individuals, or you can schedule these messages to groups. So if I wanted to use a group here, I could simply type in one of the group names. New fall students is a group that pops up. We'll select them, and we'll type in, just a basic message here, something like, don't forget to enroll, in our dance classes next semester. Whatever it may be, personalize your message how you would like, and you're simply able to choose the date and the time that you want this message to go out. So I'll schedule this just for later this week. We want it to go out at 11:30 in the morning. And when we schedule this message, as I'll do right now, it's just going to simply sit in a queue until that designated date and time. So you can edit these messages at any point before they go out if you need to change that date or that time, or you can completely delete the message if, for whatever reason, you don't want that to be delivered as well. So once again, I've scheduled to a group here. It might make sense to sit down at the beginning of the week and schedule a message for later on, or if I just wanted to schedule to a particular individual, I would have just typed in, their name or phone number and scheduled a message to them as well. Right now, I'm in the pending section. So you're able to see all the messages that you currently have scheduled and make edits to those if need be. We have another tab up here that is just the sent tab. If I click on that, there's only one in here right now, but it essentially shows all the, sent and kind of confirmed delivery messages of these scheduled texts that you had organized as well. So schedule messaging is great for things like reminders, deadlines, whatever it may be, just allows you or the front office person to maybe sit down on a Monday morning, schedule any messages for the foreseeable future, and when those are delivered, the conversation panel on the left-hand side here, it will kick that individual to the top as, once again, a sort of confirmation that the message has been delivered. So as a scheduled texting, once again, pretty simple. One other thing I wanted to mention before we move on is that you do have the ability to also send and receive picture messages. So down here by the templates and the dynamic fields, we have a little paperclip icon. You can click on that, attach a file from your computer, and send that off. The formats that we support currently are JPEGs and PNGs. If you ever have a PDF or some other format, just convert that to one of those before sending it off. The great part about picture messaging is that on the other spectrum of this, all students or any inbound have to do is take a picture with their cell phone, send it directly to your school number, and that message is going to come through. It's very similar to this big Z icon that you're able to see on my screen. That's a picture I sent to myself just more or less for test purposes. But one of the great parts about this also is that you've got your contact information always on the right-hand side for the conversation that you're looking at. We also have an attachments tab. If I click on this, this is going to bring up any and all pictures that have been sent or received during this conversation. So if you need to locate, some file or some picture that's sent, just click on that attachments one. You see I can scroll down various pictures here. Let's choose one for example. It's going to blow that picture up. Give you a little larger view of it, and at any time you can also download these pictures to anywhere else on your computer if you would like to. So sending and receiving picture messages is really just as easy as it is with cell phones with ZipWhip. Now you might have seen down here we've touched on picture messaging, templates, and dynamic fields. Last but not least, we do have full support for emojis as well. So if there's ever any emojis that you want to send, or obviously if that are sent to you, those are going to show up, and you can easily choose one to respond with as well. So far we've covered just one-on-one texting, scheduled, and group texting, which are some of the main components of ZipWhip. We do have some other features in place, and one of those is going to be for when you are out of the office and may not have the availability to respond immediately to these text messages. That is what we call our auto reply. It's found once again on the left-hand side, fourth one down. Now we'll open that up. You can either schedule an auto reply to be on while you are at work, during the business day, or you can schedule them for when you leave the office. It's up to you. Right now, I just have them scheduled for when I am not in. So if I scroll down, you can see that I have a before, after hours, and a weekend auto reply. It simply tells people what time I'll be in the office and when for them to expect a response. You can tailor those to say whatever you would like, but really the main goal of the auto reply is to give these students the instant gratification to know that their text message has been received, to know that they're going to get a response, and then you can either address that when you get back in the office, or by having things like our mobile application downloaded. Even if you may not be at the physical location of the school, you can respond using your cell phone, and it's obviously still going to look like it's coming from the school number. So if I open up one of these just to further clarify here, you're essentially going to see how you can set them up, name them what you'd like, edit the body of the message, and then you're simply choosing the days and the times of those days that you'd like these to be in effect. So once again, when we save these and a student sends a message, let's say at 6 a.m. before you may be in, they're going to immediately get this auto response that says, we'll be in a few hours. Someone will reach out to you at that point. So, auto replies give you the best of both worlds. Like I said, they get that immediate response that we all expect from texting, but also allow you, the business owner, to respond, when you have a few minutes to do so. So the auto reply is something that you are most likely going to initially set up, and then as long as the days and the times are consistent, you probably won't have to touch it or edit it very much. It'll always be in effect. To clarify, these auto reply messages are only going to be sent to a 10-digit phone number one time every 24 hours. So if a student does respond for whatever reason to the auto reply, they're not going to be bombarded with the same message over and over again. So that's really how the auto reply is set up. Very simple, but something that'll, kind of help notify people at the very least when to expect a response. Now, really only have one or two other things I'd like to touch on. Something that is very similar to auto reply is what we call keywords. And actually, you can see my top example here is a keyword that we used for the mass conference. Now, with keywords, you create any custom keyword you want. It's only going to be one word. Keep that in mind. But then you're going to write the response that you want immediately going back. So in this example, we had the conference schedule. And if people texted my phone number, the word mass, they would immediately be shot back a link to view the conference schedule. So you can obviously edit and tailor these keywords however you would like. You can use them to schedule, visits, fill openings in classes. It's completely up to you, but they usually include a link or next steps on how to accomplish something, whether that's enrolling or, even for existing students. Keywords are great. You just need to create some awareness for them. So if you have any social media on your website, even something as small as your email signature, if you can just, put text mass to this number, I think you're going to see that a lot of students and a lot of individuals will take advantage of that. Not only are they already texting, they'll be able to text and get that, immediate response without having to actually go back and forth with someone if that's what they prefer. So those are keywords. You're going to get a set amount of keywords, and you can really alternate those if you'd like, but once you turn them on and save them, they'll always be in effect. The individual does just have to text that one keyword in. They can't include it in a sentence. They would just have to text mass to get that response.
Very, very cool. And it's something they could do contests with that. They could do referral stuff. They could do coupon redemption. There's a lot of cool things they can do with that. I've got a question for you, which is probably coming with the group. One of the things is that a lot of our groups, Spencer, can be a very large size. So for example, current music students could easily be 400, 500, 600 contacts in one group. Some of these dance programs also can get quite large. So is there any plans for development to increase the 50-person cap for the groups so there's more headspace for the groups for businesses like ours?
So That's a great question, and it actually, our groups, when I first started with ZipWhip a few years ago, they actually were bigger. I believe it was about 100 contacts per group, and really, with us working with so many different industries, and try to abide by a lot of these TCPA and FCC compliance rules, what we realize is that ZipWhip is not built as really a mass marketing tool, or it's more of a peer-to-peer interaction going back and forth with these individuals. So to be compliant and to not require an opt-in, there's been some things that have been tweaked. One of those is the group size there obviously has been cut in half to 50. So right now 50 is really the sweet spot that we've determined as a company to keep us compliant and still allow business owners to get the message out there. It is something that I'm sure is being explored, since we have this new 2.0 web application, and the functionality is getting better. As far as how long down the roadmap it is, I'm not sure, but I can get back to you on that, Marty. Right now, it is 50, and that's there, really for a compliancy aspect to keep us, compliant and have to not require that opt-in.
I got you. Well, mention this to whoever, if maybe is a workaround. So for example, myself, everybody on the call today, when people sign up with our companies, they sign a contract, to register for lessons. And one of the things on there for a lot of us is, they agree that they're going to allow us permission to text them, call them, email them, etc. So I don't know on the compliance side if, we were able to, just verify we had that if you guys ever need to access it, So everybody knows they're not getting spammed.
Okay.
I just wanted you to know, at least in our industry, that's something we could provide,
Yeah, absolutely. And, that's something that I can definitely share with them. Obviously, it's a little different, working with schools than it is with other businesses there, but understand what you're saying, makes sense. And I do want to kind of piggyback off that and clarify that at all times, ZipWhip does have an opt-out mechanism built in. It's something that I hadn't touched on yet, but essentially if you ever have a student or an individual that you send a text to and they don't want to be communicated to via text, all they have to do is text back the word stop and they will be automatically unsubscribed. Now, when they're unsubscribed, it doesn't delete their conversation, it doesn't delete their contact, it does blacklist their 10-digit cell phone number on the back end. So, really, from your standpoint, yourself or any other employees after that student opts out, no matter if they completely delete the contact and add them a year down the road, whatever it is, you're not going to be able to send them a message without that individual opting back in. And when they opt out, they will receive, instructions on how to opt back in. And believe me, when they opt out, you also receive a notification that that student has opted out from receiving text. So it would make sense to just delete them, but even if you don't, and let's say they're in a group for dance classes, you don't take them out, you're covered on that basis, because even if you're sending group messages to that group, they're not going to be delivered to that phone number or that individual who has opted out in the past. So that's always in place. It's something that we need to have there, once again, for a compliancy aspect. And one of the best practices that I've seen, and it's up to you if you'd like to implement this or not, but we have a custom signature that is attached at the bottom of each message you send. For example, mine is just Spencer from zipwhip.com. You can tailor that to be whatever you would like. A lot of people just put the school name, I would imagine. But you could also put something like, Lexington School of Music, reply stop to opt out. And that way it kind of works like an email where they've always got those instructions on how to opt out if need be. If not, stop is kind of the universal opt out mechanism anyway. So that should be, I would imagine, their first go-to. But that is always in place, and it's really going to cover you on the back end. Even if you forget to delete them, anyone who's opted out can't receive any more messages from you. On the other end of that, you can also block phone numbers from sending you text messages. So on the rare instance that we activate your school number and maybe someone sends some some inappropriate messages, or maybe someone tries to spam the phone number, you can block any contact at any point in time on your end. All you simply do is go over to the conversation, and you see one of those three options we have is to block that contact as well. So not only do the end consumer have it, you also have it as well.
Yeah, and that's what I've always liked about ZipWhip. It's very clean layout. It's very easy to understand, very easy to use. I'm sure they've got questions, Spencer, so at this time I'm going to open it up to them. Guys, if you have a question for Spencer, just unmute your screen and start talking. That's all you got to do. So who's got a question for Spencer about texting, ZipWhip, that kind of stuff? Don't be shy, or it's going to be a short Q&A session. Again, just unmute your screen and start talking. Anybody?
Hi there, can you hear us?
Yes, I can. Who's this?
Hi, this is Brendan. We're from Studio Arts in St. Thomas, Ontario.
Hey, Claire, how are you?
We're very well, thanks. How are you?
Good.
Good. My question is, if we have multiple office administrators using this program, is there a way to, can we sign in individually and then indicate, whether it's through the automatic tag or whatever, who it is that they're communicating with when they're engaged in a text conversation with us? I can see that on this screen it shows that Spencer is logged in the corner and such, but if there was another administrator who could also be operating on the program, can they have their own tag and be separate?
Yeah, absolutely, and that is a great question. So what we're looking at right now is what we call our business package, and I'm the only one who uses the account, so I just log in with my general credentials. But we do have what we call multi-user availability that we can add to the business package. And essentially what that's doing is allowing all your employees to still share the same phone number, but each of them get unique login credentials. So with multi-user, you have two different roles, either admin or operator. The admin's going to have some more privileges, things like being able to delete messages, edit the auto replies, edit keywords, things like that. So a lot of times, let's say director will be the admin. A lot of the other employees will fall under the operator role. And then what that's going to do is any message that's sent or any message that's responded to, it will tag that with the username of the employee who sent or responded to that message. So essentially, if this was a multi-user account, when we were logged in, under Margot's name, it would say Spencer responded at this date and time. Under Dwight's name, it may say Gavin responded at this date and time. And it also allows each of those users to create their own custom signature. So that way, when they're sending messages, at the bottom, they're able to have, their individual name to further distinguish with the person that they're going back and forth with. So multi-user accomplishes, I think, what you're just asking. Still share the same phone number, but you get unique login credentials. And at least from an oversight perspective, it does clean up the account and allow any and all employees to distinguish exactly who is sending or responding to each message.
Fantastic. Thank you.
Thank you. Who else has got a question for Spencer?
I got a question.
Hey, Bradford.
How you doing? I missed part of the beginning here, and can you download names into ZipWhip to send out?
You can, yeah. So you can individually add people just simply by typing in the name or number, or you can mass import contacts. So I'll click on the contacts tab here, and the white import contacts button. If I choose that, we essentially have a CSV template that you're able to copy and paste all of the phone numbers and names you have into that template. You simply just drag and drop that template into ZipWhip here, and you're able to import as many individuals as you'd like to at one time.
And can you group them?
You can group them as well. So, you may have heard I mentioned that our groups are limited to 50 contacts per group.
Oh, okay.
But if you want to mass import directly in the groups, you can do so as well. Essentially, out of the CSV file that I had mentioned, you'll really just be selecting 50 at a time to go ahead and mass import directly into groups.
Okay, and as far as sending out, you can send out 50 at once, or is that limited?
So 50 is the max size for our groups. What you can do, and this is somewhat of a workaround, I should mention, but if we're drafting a new message here, we can obviously select some groups here, but you can actually select multiple groups. So if you did have, let's say, 100 students that we wanted to contact, 2 groups of 50, you could go ahead, just simply add both of those groups into the message that you're drafting. You can go ahead, select the template, write the body of the message, whatever it may be, and then when you click send, that should go out to those 100 students, very quickly. It may stagger a little bit in between groups, but that is somewhat of, we could call it a workaround to, contact, let's say, a couple hundred students at one time instead of having to go 50, next group 50. So,
Well, Bradford, that's what we're doing currently, and it's very easy. We just export our file, chop it up, make the group, send it out. It's pretty easy to do. And one of the things we talked about, I don't know if you heard, is Spencer is going to take the feedback we're talking about, because the cool thing about us, as you know, Bradford, is we have paperwork and documentation. These people are business with us and receive communication. So there's the current workaround. That's how we're using it, and maybe in the future that number will go back up.
Great. Thanks a lot.
Thanks, Bradford. Who else got a question for Mr. Spencer? Anybody?
Can you hear me or not?
Hey, Nancy, how are you? Hi.
Hi, I'm fine. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, great. If you have more than one business telephone number that you would like to use, do you need 2 accounts, or can you do that? For example, we use one business phone number for our Drama Kids program and a separate business phone number for our music studio program.
In that scenario, you would need 2 accounts. Essentially, with ZipWhip, each unique phone number that we activate is going to be a different account. As far as from your perspective, it would be very easy to, just toggle back and forth between the accounts, but that would require 2 separate accounts to be set up,
Okay.
2 separate phone numbers.
Yeah, so Nancy, we have 3. We have one for Mass, one for Lexington, and then one for Columbia, because we want everybody going right to that number. Yeah.
To kind of expand upon that, it's something that we call a switchboard. If you do activate multiple phone numbers, which basically within the account here, if I click on the top right in my name, and once again, this is just an individual account, but if I had, let's say, 2 other accounts that I was a user on, then those accounts would show there. Maybe we'd have dance line, we'd have, drama class, we'd have, music class, but basically those would be in the top right. So as an admin like yourself, Nancy, it would make it very easy to jump into whatever account you wanted to look at.
Would you receive notifications only on the one that is selected if someone's texting in?
So yeah, that would depend on, really what you were logged into on the desktop app and the mobile app. We really only have the ability to log in from a device to one account as far as the desktop app goes. So you would only get, notifications, let's say for one of those lines on your desktop, but you could always stagger it and have the mobile phone logged in a different account, or you could simply just toggle back and forth, or have one of your other employees kind of keep an eye out for any inbounds. So the desktop app and the mobile app, you only log into one at a time, but I know that at least with the mobile app, that is something that's being worked on currently. The mobile app's kind of undergoing a complete facelift right now, and one of the things that's been brought up is you need the ability to toggle in between those accounts. So currently, you're only going to be able to choose one, but very soon here, our product team is going to allow it so you can toggle between those accounts on the mobile and desktop apps.
Okay, are you saying that currently you could have one account, you could be logged in on your desktop to one, like to drama, and logged into music on your cell phone?
That's correct.
Okay, no, that would work.
Yeah, or we do with the switchboard, besides being in the actual account here, there is a specific URL that you can go to to view your switchboard, and that's basically a landing page that shows, once again, let's say we have 3 accounts. It'll show all 3 accounts and simply have the number of unread messages on each of those accounts. So if you go to that URL, it might say 3 unread messages for drama, 4 for music. So that might maybe bookmarking that and working off of that maybe your best bet.
Okay, got it.
Thanks, Nancy.
Thank you.
Anybody else got questions for Spencer?
Hi, Marty. It's Anita.
Hey, Anita.
Hi. So I'm with Brendan in
Yes.
Studio Arts in Canada. So I have 2 questions, and I'm the lesser tech savvy, and Brendan, who's on top of everything, has just stepped out to take a call for the business. So my 2 questions are tech support. Does that go directly to Spencer at ZipWhip, or how do I, as a not very technically savvy person, navigate something that I run into as a problem?
Great question. And there's really a few different answers to that. So you're always going to have a dedicated account manager, which is going to be myself or Gavin here in the Boise office. So, we're happy to provide you with our credentials. We usually cover everything from the initial setup to any training for the employees. And then, I always ask my customers, if you have an issue, reach out to me first, because a lot of times we can get you the quickest possible answer that way. So you'll have a dedicated account manager, once you sign up and start going. But besides just myself and Gavin, we do have an entire support team in Seattle that is always willing to assist. You can email them. They have a toll-free number, or you can text into that toll-free number, and you should expect a response within 1 to 2 hours if you contact the support team. Like I said, if not, you can come through myself or Gavin, and we're happy to help facilitate. One of the other helpful things is within the accounts here in the top right, one of the tabs is support. If I click on that, you're going to see this is just a very helpful page. I mean, it's got the email for support, it's got the toll-free number, it's got the text button, tutorial videos, best practices, frequently asked questions. A lot of the stuff that you may be wondering about is probably hidden within the support page, but you'll have all the resources available on the support page. You'll have your dedicated account manager, and you'll have a team of, I believe it is about 6 support reps in Seattle that are there around the clock.
That looks excellent for me. Thank you. I have a second question, and I don't know if you might be addressing this later, but I'm curious about costs and how payment schedules, and whether it's subscription, and how does that sort of thing work?
Yeah, so that's a great question, and I will just kind of go to ZipWhip's website to give a because it does detail it here. Really, there's a couple different packages that we offer with ZipWhip. Primarily, our business package is what mass members have been signing up with, and that's really what we demoed today as far as the feature set. So you can see here that the business package is $100 per month. It's going to come with everything, from the group text, the auto reply, the scheduled messages, everything we covered today here. Now, you have unlimited texting with ZipWhip. You just pay a flat rate per month and text as much as you want. We do have a device limit of 10 devices. That does have a little leeway, but essentially that's going to allow you to share this account with multiple employees if you need to. And just in general, with ZipWhip, we are purely month to month. So we don't require any contract. What we have to start is a 14-day free trial. So if it's something that you want to, check out and see if it'll work, we'll have 14 days on us. We require payment information to be attached, but you're not charged until the end of that trial period. Then after that, you just pay that flat rate per month, get unlimited texting, and with it being month to month, you could cancel at any time. So that's really how ZipWhip, billing works. It's pretty straightforward. A step below that, we do have the economy package, which is just $35 a month. That comes with a 14-day trial too, but that's really just going to, give one person maximum 2 the ability to log in, and that package is strictly for one-on-one messaging. So, the business, like I said, is allow more employees to get on, and also give you a better feature suite. And I do need to correct myself here. Gavin notified me that for Mass members, what we're doing is instead of the default 2-week free trial, we're actually giving a 30-day free trial. So either one of those packages to start, you're going to have a full month before you build anything, instead of the default of 2 weeks. So 30-day trial after that, purely once a month, pay a flat rate.
Thank you.
And Anita, my big thing is, this is what I use in all three of my businesses. It's been awesome. We've had no glitches, no problems. And what I'm excited about is all the potential, Anita. You know what I mean? So right now, any of you could run with keywords, coupon specials, text summer to your number, or you could do referral promotions to your clients, text, refer, whatever. So there's just so much potential. And it's Anita, also I think for you guys, especially that are doing well, to become the market leader in your market, to maintain that, it's impressive to people. You know what I mean? I mean, if you look at schools that can be texted versus ones that can't. And also the big thing that made me do it, Anita, is, so like, for example, I talk on the phone every day, all day. It's what I do, fine. My wife, for example, hates to talk on the phone. She is a texter. So for us, it's just, finally really getting into servicing those customers that prefer that better. And the main reason, like I said, I want to reiterate, I don't know if you heard at the beginning, that I went with ZipWhip was really three things. One, I love their layout. It's super easy to use. These guys are easy to get a hold of. It's an easy and a strong product. Two, it's Mac and PC. So for me being a Mac nut, I got to have that. But three, Anita, the big thing is it allows you to keep your landline.
Yes. And Marty, thank you for bringing up two things that I'll just offer in terms of our own experience. We felt that having a text availability became important. And so I appreciate you validating that it does impress people and people appreciate it. So we purchased a Studio Arts cell phone, and that's become part of our texting number. But being able to link it back to the landline, as Brendan is here with me, it's going to be fantastic to have it all be central, which is great. And as he was asking about, we have this actual physical small cell phone that has to be tracked between who is answering the messages when they're on their shift. And so this just has so much potential. The word you keep using is potential. And I would just like to echo that. I think it could be exceptionally good for us.
Yeah, and Anita, for you guys logistically, let me throw something at you that we enjoy. You see, right now he's having to type with his thumbs, right?
Okay, yes.
But what?
Oh, I like the actual keyboard. I personally am going to be thriving on an actual keyboard if you're going in that direction.
That's what we're saying. If you go back to Spencer, I don't know if you can go back to that screen, please. But what Spencer was showing you with the two threads there, sender recipient, you see, we're all doing that, Anita, on our desktop computers.
Okay. For me personally, as a 45-year-old in the business doing what I need to do, having it on a screen with my fingers on a real keyboard is going to be fantastic.
Well, yeah, and also for copy and pasting, we show the templates, all kinds of stuff, so. And amen, absolutely, Spencer. You can type a lot faster on that keyboard.
And fewer mistakes in my world.
So like Spencer said, look, guys, you get a 30-day free trial. If you're just at least at the minimum curious what Columbia Arts is doing, this is the best way to get a fast forward into it. Spencer, if they want to get a hold of you to start a free trial, how can they reach out to you and Gavin?
Yeah, so we have essentially I can provide our email addresses here. Maybe it makes sense just to type them on the screen if everyone can still see the screen share here. And then I can also go ahead and provide you with each of our direct lines. You can essentially call either one of us to get started on the trial. So I'll go ahead and I'll type the phone number. I'll kind of echo this as I type it. Me personally, Spencer, my direct line is 208-805-1180. And then for Gavin, his is going to be 208-805-1183. 1183.
And Marty, I should mention, if you just would like to reiterate or circle back around with members, that could be the best way to potentially get our contact information out. I know they may not all be on this or be able to view this video. So if you'd like, you can obviously go to Marty, get our contact information. You can grab it from the screen, or just go to zipwhip.com and you'll be linked to either Spencer or myself.
Yeah, because if you guys go to the MAS website, if you go to the resource directory, they're listed there. They're also listed in the newsletter. And everybody knows how to get a hold of Stephanie and Marissa. If you email them, they can get you as well. So, well, listen, Spencer and Gavin, I really enjoyed today. Was there any closing words you want to throw in there or anything as we depart?
I just want to thank everybody here for our time on the conference today. You know, like I said, when we went to the conference, we had a very positive reception. You know, a lot of people are already using it. We're kind of able to echo what Marty and the other schools have been saying. And since the conference, you know, I've had a lot more schools reach out, sign up, and really to echo Marty once again, it's easy to use. It's kind of a no-brainer, I think, once you turn it on. You know, students especially is the demographic that likes to text. So it's worked for existing students. It's worked to reach out to prospective students. And, you know, Gavin and I, it's the same day setup. So if it's something that you're interested in and want to get started, it really only takes a quick phone call to get everything in order, and you're off and running with a 30-day trial. So look forward to hearing from some of you. You know, once again, our contact information, reach out to Marty or grab it off the screen here. And thank everybody for your time again today.
Thanks, guys. Have a good day, everybody. Thank you.
Thank you.